Hello, Professor Born. My name is Jose Steck, and also founder member of Peruvian Young Arbitrators. Peruvian Young Arbitrators is an association of young practitioners under 40. Our goal is to promote the best arbitral practices in our country and to exchange thoughts on international arbitration in order to enrich our network in our country and Latin America. It is a pleasure to be here with you today with some members of the Peruvian Young Arbitrators, and we would like to thank you for accepting this interview. And let me tell you that you are such a remarkable inspiration for many young arbitration practitioners here in Peru.
Before we start, if I could just thank you for the invitation to be here. It's an honor and a pleasure to be able to speak with you this evening.
Thank you, Professor Born. Peru, with its strategic location in the middle of South America, aims to become an arbitration hub. What do you think it takes for a country to become a popular arbitration venue for parties? What does Peru need to achieve that goal?
I think Peru has taken some important steps already towards that goal. Peru is a party to the New York Convention, other international arbitration conventions as well. Peru has also adopted the UNCITRAL model law some years ago, providing a sound legislative framework for international arbitration to be conducted here in Peru. Likewise, there are arbitral institutions. The Arbitration Center for the Lima Chamber of Commerce is one good example. There are other examples of arbitral institutions here in Peru that, again, provide very important steps towards Peru becoming an arbitration hub for the region. Also important, however, is for the legal profession here in Peru to become professional, to become expert in all aspects of international arbitration. So parties will look to Peruvian, to Lima lawyers to sit as arbitrators in international arbitrations and to act as counsel in international arbitrations. I think this generation, the Young Arbitrators group here in Lima, is a very important step in that direction. I think encouraging the law schools to teach international arbitration is one of the subjects in law school education. I think participation in international events, whether the VIS moot or other regional examples of arbitration moot competitions, is equally important. All of these steps together, I think, would enable Peru to complete the journey towards becoming a hub for international arbitration, both in the region and more widely across the world.
Professor Born, I'm Giancarlo Peralta from Peruvian Young Arbitrators. Professor Born, first of all, thank you for your kindness, your time, and your patience.
My pleasure.
It is a pleasure for us to be here with you. Your work and you inspire a lot of arbitration practitioners here in Peru and all around the world. I want to ask you a couple of questions. First, why do you think it is important for arbitration practitioners to develop their careers at least a wide international?
People in every country, every part of the world, have things to learn from other countries, and international experience is an ideal way to do that. People in one country, whether it's Switzerland or Singapore or Peru, can learn from one another, and international arbitration practice provides one way of doing that. International arbitration practice also, though, provides another way of learning best practices. International arbitration generates its own best practices, international best practices that are not tied to any single country, to any single jurisdiction. By participating in international arbitration, Peruvian lawyers, like Swiss or U.S. lawyers, learn those international practices as well as the practices of other countries.
If you had to point out 3 fundamental rules in order to achieve the best practices in arbitration, what would they be?
So, the first rule is never pay attention to lists of rules. They will always mislead you. The actual 3 rules, though, that if you're going to look at lists you should pay attention to are, number 1, always work hard. Working hard is, as Einstein said, 99% of genius. The second rule is, and this is a rule for advocacy, always listen instead of perhaps speaking. one achieves more by listening both to what one's opponents say, but also what the arbitral tribunal says, in trying to understand what it is that will persuade that tribunal to rule in favor of one's client. And the third rule, I think, is honesty. Be honest, be modest with yourself. Realize what it is that you don't know, what you don't understand, and then try to take steps to remedy that lack of understanding. All too often, lawyers think they know the answer, want to talk instead of listen, and I think these two rules, listening instead of talking and being modest, honest about what one doesn't fully understand, are extremely important.
The Peruvian young arbitrators want to give you a present. This is my humble work on investment arbitration, but is with all respect and admiration from Peruvian young arbitrators.
Thank you very much. It's a great honor to receive this. It's also been a great honor and also a great pleasure to answer these questions, to speak with you here today.